Hello, welcome to Canterbury Live. Well, it is Thursday, so congratulations on reaching it. Well, Thursday is a big day, of course, in the Beehive. It's budget day, and how have you found what's come out of it? Well, they're calling it the baby budget, funny enough, as in young families are going to benefit from it quite a lot, actually. The old paid parental leave is going to be increased from 14 to 18 weeks, which is fantastic. And also, if you have any children under 13, free doctor's visits. But that's pretty substantial. I'm not sure if could be a little thing election year may have helped them actually, twist the arm sort of thing national, but I'm not a cynic. But anyway, moving on, today we're out on location to Hollylee. That'll be wonderful. We also catch up with an old friend. Phyllis Brown joins us back here with the CTV family, and it's NZ Music Month, so we will end the show with another clip from the closet. But first up, we head to the Isaac Theatre Royal, and I'm very grateful to be joined by CEO Neil Cox. Welcome.
Hello again.
And now Isaac Theatre Royal, we're not hearing a lot about it because it's not open, but it doesn't mean it's not there.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we keep people updated as we know what is happening, and it's for us it's about achieving milestones in the rebuild. So you could just bark on for every week if you wanted to and tell people what's going on, but really they'll get bored. I mean, we need to tell them about the big things and the fact that we're looking forward to the end of the year and reopening and the process of what we've been going through, because it's been such a challenging and intricate build, and constantly throws up new and interesting situations that we weren't possibly expecting, but it's about getting through them and keeping it on track.
So let's talk specifically about the actual rebuild. Tell us about where it's at the moment.
Right, okay, there's the interior of the auditorium is now just completely scaffolded out, so from the floor of the stalls right the way to the dome, which is now obviously back in its position and its permanent position now. There's some work going on around the collar of the dome, and the artwork is still masked to keep it in a pristine condition, and pristine is a word we'll be using a lot going forward, because we've never seen the canvas in this situation since 1908. 100 years of nicotine and dust and grime and various stuff has got sucked up, and because it used to be an extraction system through the dome as well. So and now the canvas just sparkles. It's been cleaned up. It just looks amazing. There's a little bit of gold treatment going on around the collar of the dome at the moment, and of course the whole process is also getting the plaster work that was just so ornate around from the dome downwards to the floor, is getting that in place, and that's why it's not a place to walk through at the moment. It's there's far too many poles in the way.
Tell us about the team though, because obviously you're talking about the intricate with the gold work and so forth. Surely that must be a specialised field.
There are specialised fields in many parts of the rebuild, especially from the canvas cleaning, the facade treatment, the stripping of the paint on the facade has been a massive situation. The dome, as I say itself, to even find someone of the calibre of Caroline Izzo, who's been involved with us, who's Italian and had opera houses and palaces on her CV, and she's done this. She's passionate as hell and Italian and extremely fiery, and it's just that expertise is something that I think a lot of our team have learnt things from as well, and it's heritage architects who protecting so little heritage in the city now, but protecting it properly, and it's a real process, and the challenges just arrive from a day-to-day build process. As the building contractors will say, we're not building an office block. We're not so you can work on level 1 and level 5 on different days. You can't do that. We literally are working in an auditorium that's probably 4.5 stories, 5 stories high, and so you can't just build temporary floors and work on walls. It's got to be a process that comes down and ends on the floor. And
there's so much love though.
There is. We've got it. The team have got absolutely involved in this. It's a process, and we've been fortunate to keep the same contractors and team and consultants since pretty much demolition days. So it's there's a real passion about this building.
So fast forward to later in the year.
I'd love to do that.
Amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
One day. What can we expect when it opens?
Well, we're seeing the final treatments now of what the interior's going to look like. I mean, really, apart from some subtle colour changes within the auditorium, and apart from a reconfiguration of the seating, you're not going to see much difference in the auditorium, apart from the glorious newness of the dome and some highlighting of some really key features and things like that. But it's going to... We'll challenge people to really find specific differences, apart from the fact that it looks really grand spanking new. But the foyers themselves, so where you're entering into the theatre before you get into the auditorium, each of the foyer spaces are being reconfigured, redesigned, remastered to a degree, and for the first time since the theatre opened, the top level, which used to be called the gallery, we're now naming it the Grand Circle because it deserves that name now. It's going to have its own foyer space, its own bar area, a seating area and everything, as opposed to the 96 steps and corridor that you used to have before you got to your seat. So the usage of space within the theatre has really been carefully considered to make sure that we do this once, we do it once properly and we get it right.
Performances. Is there anything booked yet?
Honestly, I've been taking bookings for as far away as 2019, and that's no joke. Because the key clients like Royal New Zealand Ballet, Showbiz Christchurch, New Zealand Opera, who are going to be coming to us now because it was always Southern Opera before, Comedy Fest, the Buskers Fest and various others. They're making bookings far in advance now. The Christchurch Arts Festival, every 2 years they need to book in advance because otherwise we're going to be short on space. And that's the key thing we've been telling our producers. We might have a new theatre, but we've still only got 365 days. So we can't create extra time. So it's about using the time better. And so all of those and many more are booked between our hoped planned reopening of sort of late October, early November, right the way through to probably
fantastic. Well done to you and the team. I look forward to talking again.
Oh, yes,
Can
indeed.
We potentially? Some
bit
some
closer
more
to the
images?
time. Very much indeed.
Thanks, Neil. Well, stay with us after the break. We're Phyllis Brown and we're talking spirituality.
Let's face it, everyone has an agenda. And guess what? So do I. Every week, I'll pick 3 stories that grab my attention. Agenda with me, Brent Goff.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Yuck, look at all this moss and lichen. I'm not getting up there, not in these heels. Time to call Mossbuster.
Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. You can buy Mossbuster online for less than half the cost of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest, or Mossbuster can do it for you. Check out our website or call the Mossbuster crew for a free quote. Mossbuster, 0800 88 1000.
Introducing My Freeview.
This fella doesn't just preserve your right to watch free digital TV. It fits your viewing around your life. Too busy putting out fires? Record at the touch of a button. Want to watch one channel and record another? You can. And if you need to nip away, hit pause.
Even a live show.
For a one-off payment, you can enjoy Freeview when it suits you, not someone else. It's like having your own TV station at home without monthly fees or contracts. My Freeview. It's Kiwi for TV.
Watch Let's Go Shopping and see some gorgeous clothes from Maxwell Fashion.
Welcome back to Canterbury Live. Well, if you are an avid viewer, and of course you are, of CTV, you would remember Good Living. Good Living, of course, came out of our old studios in Cashel Street, and we had a family of, you were part of the family, weren't you, Phyllis?
Yeah, I was.
And gave us our spiritual advice. So it's wonderful, wonderful to welcome you back. So thank you very much.
Thank you
how
for
are
asking
you?
me. I'm well. Well, I'm well. Yes.
3 years later, how are you?
Yes, I've grown my hair long. I've cut my hair short. I lost weight. I put it back on again. I've gone in, out, up, down, all over the place. But I think that's a sign of what everybody else has done. But yeah, I'm doing well.
And where are you now?
So I'm out on Shands Road. So like most of Canterbury, lots of moves, lots of shifts. And the last time I was in the studio, I was talking about my brand new wellness centre, which is at the bottom of Madras Street, and that all went kaput.
Literally?
Yep, yes, but along with everything else. And but that's all been great, and people come out now to the most serene, beautiful, country-like setting with a big pond in the garden, and everybody just goes, ah. So it's a beautiful space we're in now.
Now, Phyllis, if we have not met you before and remember you, tell us exactly what you are.
Well, I call myself a spiritual life coach. I am a qualified life coach. And what that means is that people will come to me and they'll just say, Phyllis, you know, I'm finding it difficult to focus on plans for the future. So I'll then go into my basket of tools, and I might use my life coaching skills, I might use my psychic medium skills, I might use my theta training skills, I might just pop them on a healing table and give them a little bit of Reiki or a little bit of crystal healing. So that's like a really broad stroke of some of the skills that I come. But most people come and they'll say, well, people have talked about you, Phyllis, and I don't know why why I'm here, but this is where I'm at. And so I'll then tune into their what I call their vibration, and then this session then just processes from there. Yeah.
Why is spirituality so important?
I think at the moment people are feeling a little bit disconnected. And when we talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about faith. Faith is very much its own thing, and people have strong faith. But spirituality is more about when people get to a place in their life where things just don't fit anymore, and they don't know how to make a decision or where to go, or they want to become this other person. So their own personal belief system just, well, actually, that's not me anymore. I'm not that person. And so it's getting in touch with their own spiritual connection. Who are they? What is their essence, their spirit, their soul? And that, to me, is more about spirituality. It's still riding along, having their actual faith of a religious context as well.
A lot more people are getting into the whole inspirational quotes and that. What do you think about that in social media?
I really like them. You know, I've got 2 Facebook pages. I've got my personal one and I've got my business one, which is Phyllis Brown, Spiritual Life Coach. And I think that's what people need. I think that we need something that will say, you know, today is a blessed day, or send this candle from Archangel Michael and receive that strength, because regardless of who we are, we all want to think that something somewhere is going to help us through that day, that moment, or that point in our life. And I think we all get to a point where it just becomes too complex and we can't see a way through. So we will put a thought out and go, oh, please help me. It can be to anything. We put that thought out to anything and anyone and everything. And I think the inspirational thoughts, it gets everybody thinking in that process that, right, okay, that's just what I needed to hear today. I think they're really cool.
When do most people arrive at this spirituality in their life? Where
does it happen? Well, it's a different thing for different people. So for me, it was, I took my Reiki attunement, level 1 Reiki attunement, and it was all for myself. And at level 1, you are looking at your physical relationship to everything. And I just had so many realizations, and I had a great Reiki master teacher. And so I'd be moaning, let's say, about my mum. Mother issues, moaning about my mum, grumble, grumble, grumble. And she says, well, you chose her. You chose your family, deal with it. And I'm like, really? No, I said. And then I actually had to sit down and think about that. And I thought, well, who have I become because of my family? I feel that's when people arrive at their spirituality. Why have I been born into this family? Or why have I drawn this partner into my life? Or why am I in this situation? There has to be a meaning.
We're looking for an answer?
We're looking for the answer. And I think people then have that process where maybe situations come up again and again. So again, that kicks them into thinking, oh, you know, I've attracted that kind of friendship in again, or I've attracted that situation in again. Why does that happen to me? And it's the why question. So why does that happen? And once we start asking the why, we then start looking for the answer. And that's the spiritual connection. That's you thinking, okay, so there must be a meaning to all of this. I must be having to look at a message here. I must have to learn the lesson from here. And I've had great fun with it. I have to say, I was in my 30s, really, coming up into my 40s. Life definitely began at 40 for me, where I just kept asking why. So why has that happened? So what's that all about, guys? So what does that mean? And just keep asking, going, oh, okay, I'll know not to do that again, or I'll know how to deal with that in the future. And it's just that connection with your soul and your understanding.
Well, connecting and connections for this, for fortnightly you'll be coming in to visit us here at Canterbury Live, which is
I was so
fantastic.
excited.
What can we look forward to? Where would you like to take us?
Well, at the moment, people are at that point, in Canterbury in particular, where we're still trying to find a normality. People still want to go back, and last month it was all about old situations coming back up for people from my client base, people coming to see me. But it's not so much the old situations come back, it's how you're dealing with it now. And so any questions about, well, how can I deal with this, or how can I cope with this, that would be beautiful. And I'll try and bring along some strategies. People are still interested in self-healing topics. So, you know, Reiki and crystal healing, different therapies, so we could cover some of that. I'm just happy to hear from, you know, the audience. And if they drive the topics, then I'll certainly bring in my aspect and hopefully get people thinking about how they can incorporate that into their lives.
What's a thought you can leave us with today before you go?
A thought that I can leave you with today. Everything is as it should be. And that thought gets me through everything. It's in my Reiki 3 manual.
Say it again.
Everything is as it should be.
And we'll leave it there.
We'll leave it
Phyllis, it was beautiful seeing you again, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
Lovely, we'll see you then.
Take care.
Bye.
Now stay with us. We headed out on location with Holly Lee after the break.
In Good Shape, examining all aspects of healthcare, medicine, research, nutrition, fitness and beauty, with in-depth interviews from medical experts. It's all here on In Good Shape, Monday afternoon at 2, CTV.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shand Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
Here, an opportunity of a lifetime has arisen. A chance for you to live, work, play and relax in the heart of New Zealand's adventurous alpine environment. The Drive is a stunning lifestyle subdivision nestled between the Twizel Township and the renowned Lake Ruataniwha. Starting from just $135,000, each section allows stunning views and offers the potential to develop your very own piece of utopia. For more information, visit mackenzieproperties.co.nz.
Our friends and family celebrate and live their lives in all sorts of ways. So it's always hard and sad with the passing of a loved one. We at Palmer Funerals know and understand this, and we believe that their life should still be celebrated even when they have gone. With our newly built chapel, we can help tailor-make a funeral which is unique and personal to you, and help celebrate their life while making your difficult time easier. Palmer Funeral Services. Tailor-made funerals.
CTV News and Weather, first at 5. Be the first to find out about the rebuild, local politics, business, sports, culture and community. CTV News and Weather, first at 5, only on CTV.
Welcome back to Canterbury Live. Now we headed out on location to Hollylee.
We're in a very special building. Well, it's really more what's inside this building at Maclean Institute that's important. Jeff, you do a great job for the Institute itself, and here you are now in 9 Tui Street. It wasn't always that way, was it?
No. Actually, in front of me, I've got the minute book from the first meeting, and actually I just checked to see where that was held. And that was the first meeting of the Maclean Institute was held at the Chamber of Commerce on Thursday, the 11th of May 1908, and it's had various addresses since then. And there was the Ellen Maclean building, I think probably there when you joined, Malcolm.
That's right, yes.
In Victoria Square.
Malcolm, have you been working for the Institute as well?
No, I was on the board. I joined the board in 1984.
So you would have some interesting stories about Alan Maclean, because without him, none of this would have happened.
Well, it's an incredible document, the will that was made. He died in 1907, Jim?
Yes.
And that will was made by Duncan Cottrell, which is still functioning in Christchurch.
Could we talk a little bit about the man himself?
Yes.
How did it all start?
Way to go, Jeff.
Well, Alan Maclean was came out from the island of Cole when he was a young man with his mother and 4 of his siblings, and they had struck very hard times when the father of the family had
been drowned.
Yes, it had been a bad accident, and they'd struggled for a while, and so they emigrated to Australia, and they set up home in Bendigo in Australia, and had sheep and a shop and fed the gold miners. So they made money in Australia, and then they came to New Zealand. They came over the bridle path with 500 merinos and set up a farm at Maclean's Island, and then went from there, expanded and bought large tracts of land down in South Canterbury. Well, there's a huge story to tell about what he'd done down there, but eventually the land was purchased back off him by the Land Acquisition Act, and the government bought it and broke that up into 60 blocks. And then the man came to Christchurch and built the Maclean Mansion.
Anyhow, here he arrived with all this £50 million, can you imagine? And he walked into this architect's office in Christchurch to see the architect. The architect didn't want to see him because he was busy with another client, so Alan Maclean spoke to the draftsman. The draftsman said, "What sort of house did you have in mind, Mr. Maclean?" He said, "I had in mind a house with 14 bedrooms." And I think the architect deigned to see him.
Yes, it was a bigger house.
So he built this wonderful house. I think when they built the house, remember Alan Maclean went off to England with Miss Phillips, and they bought all this lovely old antique furniture,
which we'll see later.
Yes, furnished the house, yes, which was quite a feature of the place. Yes.
Yeah, Emily Phillips said she had the life interest after Alan died, and so the Institute had to get on its business of caring for these, if I just quote from the will, "The Hollylee property shall be reserved exclusively for the use of gentlewomen or women, including their children, as aforesaid, who," and this is the bit I usually quote, "who either by their birth, education, previous life or manner may be able to live in harmony under the one roof."
Do you sometimes think when you're sitting around this boardroom table, that was the original one, do you sometimes feel like Alan is still here?
Very much so, I think.
Yes, and when you think about 100 years, this has been in place from somebody's will.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many stories, and as the weeks go on, we'll hear about so many as well. It's been lovely hearing from you both, Jeff and Malcolm. Look forward to more stories over the coming weeks. Thank you.
Coming up on tomorrow's show, we have the Student Volunteer Army here, and we have Calvin Coe, Mayor of the Selwyn District. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.